So our next guest decided to move from Jamaica to Japan 3 years ago, which inspired her to pen the Traveler's Note, Stories of a Jamaica's Journey in Japan. Join us now, author, and not for the first time you're seeing her on TVJ, because she was actually part of our coverage of the Olympic Games, which ended recently. Her name is Sandie Heron. Konnichiwa, Sandie.
Konnichiwa, Neville. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Genki desu ka?
Genki desu.
Good to see you. All right, tell me why you left us almost 4 years ago.
So almost 4 years ago, I was working at a law firm in Jamaica, felt as if my time was up there, wondering to myself, what am I going to do? And so I started thinking about it and I started praying, and I felt as if Japan was the place for me to go. That was the next step. And so I packed up everything in 2 pieces of luggage and I traveled to Japan.
Just out of the blue, you didn't know anybody there, nobody invite you, you just decide Japan? Any other country? Did you think of any other countries before you got to Japan?
No, as a matter of fact, when I was at UWI doing my first degree, I remember I went on the work and travel program, and I went to North Carolina. And after that first summer, I said to myself, no more foreign. I'm not going anywhere. Only going abroad to maybe shop for 2 weeks and then come back home. So I had no plans. I wasn't thinking about any other country, but Japan certainly sparked my interest and pulled my spirit.
What was the first thing that either made you feel really happy about Japan or threw you off badly about Japan?
Threw me off badly. The first thing that made me feel very happy was, one, being in a new place, right? So it was somewhere I had never been before, and I was seeing people who looked a lot different from me. So that made me very excited to go to the onsen and to try different foods, because I love new foods, right? What threw me off was going to live in a rural area in Japan and being the only Black woman in the city.
Only Black woman or only Black person?
Well, the only Black person, because I never saw anybody else living in that small town called Kakuda, where I was living at the time.
Okay.
So that threw me off. That was a little bit different, getting used to the stairs at the grocery store and so
I
on.
was just going to say, how did they react to you?
Well, let's just say I would be going about my business, doing my shopping, and there would be a lot of stares, especially from the young kids, just be looking at me like I'm an alien from space. So that was very different.
Yeah. You journaled before you wrote, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of the same thing, but journaling is a little bit different from writing a book. Your first read was what? Just about what was going on in Japan before you did your second one?
Okay, so the first book, this one, Journey into the Unknown, finding the courage to move from where you are to where God wants you to be. And this book I started writing before I left Jamaica. And I just started writing about everything that was happening in my life at the time, leaving my job and all the uncertainties that I was feeling, and also the fears about leaving something that you're so comfortable with to move into the unknown. And thinking about people's opinions of you, what would my boss think, what would my friends think, and stuff like that. And so I started writing that, and I continued writing when I got to Japan.
Yep. And the second book is about?
So the second book, The Traveler's Notebook, Stories of a Jamaican's Journey in Japan, that goes deeper into my experiences in Japan. Before I got there, as you said, I didn't know anybody. So I was trying to find people on the internet, different groups to connect with, especially Jamaicans who had lived in Japan before. And I wanted to get a real sense of what the experience in Japan was like. And not just about, okay, the food or stuff, but like, how did you overcome the language barrier? What was it like being a foreigner, going through feelings of isolation, being away from home? And so those are some of the answers that I wanted at the time. And so I wanted to write a book sharing my experiences and sharing how I overcame some of those challenges.
Yep. What do you say to anyone who might be thinking like you and want to get up and say, well, I want to go somewhere just for a different kind of life? What do you say?
First of all, do your research. That's one. Also have an open mind, certainly. A lot of times we create a fantasy around going abroad, and sometimes the reality does not match the expectations that we have. And so I would say manage your expectations. And of course, reach out to other persons who have had the experience before you, persons like me and other persons for example, in the Jamaicans in Japan Association, and even the Jamaican embassy here in Tokyo, and get as much information as you can.
Okay. Almost 4 years. What's the best thing about Japan thus far?
The best thing about Japan is being open to a new culture. It's a unique culture, of course. It's totally different from Jamaica. It's something that I've never seen or experienced before. And so being able to learn about different religions, a different way of life, being able to meet people who think different from I do. So that has been a great part about being here.
What do you miss about Jamaica?
Boy, Neville, I miss the food. I want patty and oxtail, and I miss some brown stew fish from Hellshaw. And of course, I miss my family and friends.
Who do you want to say hi to?
Who I want to say hi to? I want to say hi to my mother. I don't know if she's watching this. She lives in Spanish Town. And my little sister, I'm not sure if she's in Jamaica or overseas now, but I want to say hi to Roxanne. And my friend Jody Ann Stevenson, if she's off and watching in Greater Portmore 4 West, big up.
So you never call everybody and tell them I'm going to be on TV. You better wake up and watch. I want you.
I put it up in a Neville. It's on Instagram. Yeah. It's on Facebook. It's on WhatsApp. So everybody should know.
Yeah, man. Where can we get the book? Or
okay.
books?
So the first book is available on Amazon in all territories. It's also available at York Pharmacy in Halfway Tree. And the second one will be published about the end of August or early September. And everyone can follow me on Instagram at Sandie Heron for more details as it relates to the date of the release.
Domo arigato tomodachi. Sayonara. Author of the book, The Traveler's Note. Stay safe. God bless you. Stories of a Jamaican's journey in Japan.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, still to come, we hear all the details about Credit Union's Family Day. Daily will have that. But first, the second edition of News in 5 comes up in a little while. Stay with us, please. Soon come.